Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Team Down TV's coverage of the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships. My name is Mitch Uber-Leslie, and I'm joined here by Jordan Elfish Guy Mays for what is going to be a cracker of a match. I believe it's a round 3 game here between the newly named Avant-Garde going up against your soul, Shell Chuffer. How you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you, Mitch. And actually, this is quite interesting because just before this game, Avant-Garde released a statement saying that my Diamond 4 promos have been picked up by them. So obviously that is the team we are referring to when we are talking about Avant-Garde. All
right, so a very quick pick up there for Avant-Garde. And well, let's see if it works out for them now. We are into the picks and bans already, and an interesting band already catching my eye. The Swain band from Avant-Garde sort of been taken away there. It's presumably Little Cutie Cheese is Swain, because I've seen him play that before. Nasty. But Zillion being banned away as well. We saw Legacy try for that one over at the Wildcards, and it worked quite well for them when they got it. That one being taken away. Tristana, a band that I'm not surprised to see either.
Yeah, Zillion banned every game against Legacy, I believe, finals, which was unfortunate for them because it did go quite well for them, as you say, in the games where they were able to pick. So, unfortunate that they didn't get to pick that up because obviously it didn't go too well for them in the finals. But regardless, we're not here to talk about that game. We're here to talk about this game. And Maokai, the first pickup here for AV, probably not surprising to a lot of people out there. Probably going to be up in the top lane, but it could go also into the jungle.
Absolutely. We know Maokai generally is tanky, nice amount of sustain. We know that, of course, once he gets, once he becomes level 6 and is able to use that Vengeful Maelstrom, which now obviously has the ability for him to keep that up quite often. I think it's been reduced to 10 seconds max, but at the moment, it makes him very hard to shove out of lane. So I wouldn't be surprised, should I say, to see Porcupine take him into the top lane. We see Nidalee Alistar Cogmore banned out there as well. Alistar still a menace on the Rift, especially since his changes now. That 70% damage reduction at all ranks on his ult is so very impactful now, and looks like the guys from your Soul Shachuffa just don't want to borrow that one.
Yeah, a few power picks being already, you can see the Braum and Cassidy as well as that Maokai that we spoke about before. So no real weak picks so far coming out from these teams.
Okay, so yeah, obviously, and Cassidy coming out fairly early here. I mean, in a meta, there are these big champions that we're dealing with now, Zillion, Nidalee Alistar Cogmore. Sometimes I guess Cassidy just can't be banned out. So Purple side are still getting the option to pick him up here. That is just how much Maokai is being valued lately. Waiting on the next couple picks here from Avant-Garde. Very interested to see. It is going to be a Corki lock-in and a Lucian. Oh, God, I think we know where this is going.
Yeah, Lucian probably going to be heading to the mid lane. I reckon that. Cassidy, interesting as well, something that we should have touched on. Cassidy getting through to the second ban, obviously, the second pick, obviously, on the purple side. So, that really shows how much these teams are prioritizing the Maokai pickup.
Yeah, exactly right. It says less about Cassidy as a champion and more about how in vogue some of these other champions are. And Maokai is pick or ban. And it looks like, Avant-Garde were that afraid of Little Cutie Cheese's Swain that they couldn't afford to worry about any other bans. But they did pick him up, of course, now waiting on the next couple picks here from your soul, Shell Chuffer. That'll be Denny and Little Cutie Cheese looking to see what champions they want to take them to. We already have that Braum in the bot lane. Cogmore is not available. Of course, Tristana is also off the table. We're going to be dealing likely with a Corki here, unless Ken still wants to get cute and go AP mid, but I really doubt it now. So maybe the guys will hold off on the AD carry pick. It is going to be Mundo going to the top lane against that Maokai, presumably. Kazakh's into the jungle. Let's talk about the Mundo Maokai quickly as well, because I've heard a few people say, Minky Whale especially, that he's fairly comfortable playing Mundo into that matchup. Why is that?
Well, he can't really be killed at all by the Maokai unless he gets a... It really is going to depend on what kind of jungler the AV guys pick up here, depending on whether they actually want to go into that top lane. If it is going to be this Lee Sin, rather, they probably will actually try to kill that Mundo because obviously Lee Sin... I keep saying Lucian, but Lee Sin going to be bringing a lot of damage there, and of course Maokai going to bring all that CC.
Well, you know what they say, if you have Alistar, may as well pick up Morgana here, and that is exactly what Nada has chosen to do here for Avant-Garde. So it's going to be a very strong lane there, Corki and Morgana, of course. And we are obviously looking towards the last lock-in here for Avant-Garde. Will it be Rengar? Evelyn was hovered over there briefly as well. Both very highly valued, I guess, in terms of junglers right now. Whoa. Veritas, not quite sure. It is at least seen lock-in for that early game dominance, switching into the late game utility aspect. And now we get to see the AD carry pick up here for your soul, Shell Chuffer.
Yeah, kind of interested to see what it's actually going to be, because none of those big name kind of AD carries left. I guess it could possibly be Jinx, kind of bring that hyper carry sort of aspect to this team. Probably a Twitch might be also a nice pickup. They just want that little extra sort of damage coming out, because Mundo obviously not the highest damage top laner, and Kha'Zix and Kassadin, they're going to be there as well doing the bit of damage.
Well, at the very least, maybe an AD carry that doesn't fall off hard towards
Exactly
the later stages of the game. We know Jinx actually has a bit of a ramp there as well. Of course, Twitch does. However, it's a Morgana in that lane, so you know if she maxes her Q, I think it's up to a 3.5 second bind, or a root, should I say, on her Dark Binding. That's disgusting to lane against. So if that is the way that Nada wants to go with that one here, Flying Dew or a Denian for that matter, probably looking towards an AD carry that can deal with that a little bit more.
Oh.
We have had a disconnect here, so we'll have to pop back in and see what was going on. Jinx was the pick there, so it was a bit of a proxy pick,
Yeah.
I think, now, and they didn't have it. So that's fine. He was the last pick there, so that makes this all a little bit easier now, and we're not going to be sitting wondering why they've locked in Heimerdinger AD carry. So bans to come away, champions to be picked. So Jinx is kind of what you were thinking here, going to be lining up with that Braum. How does that lane shape up in the early stages? Are either of these teams going to be looking for, you know, a bit of flair in terms of maybe a lane swap or something like that? Or do you expect him to be fairly comfortable going head-to-head?
You shouldn't really need lane swap for either of these guys. Obviously, Morgana has the counterplay against Braum. She can use that Black Shield to stop the stun. And of course, also the likes of Jinx and Braum can also fight quite well against Corki and Morgana. It's just going to be whoever decides, oh, we want to go aggressive. Or if they do actually go for a lane swap, really, they're going to be looking to push the lane and take down that tower pretty quickly, which both these lanes can actually do quite well as well. So a lot of options open for both of these teams.
Okay, definitely outside of the champions picked. Plenty of options in terms of how the game's going to play out here. We haven't really touched on it. We kind of disdainfully glossed over the fact that Kensti will be taking that Lucian into the mid lane. Barrier being picked up for him as well, maybe less than a standard pick. Little Cutie Cheese opting for, well, I mean, we've probably already seen the summons picked up there, so I don't want to mention it too much. Nonetheless, Little Cutie Cheese opting for mobility, going for the teleport. Let's talk about Lucian in that mid lane. I cannot see Little Cutie Cheese having a fun time, really at any stage of that lane.
No, but he really just does need to level 6, make good use of that teleport and roam a little bit, because Lucian's not really going to be able to catch him if he does use that teleport effectively. Of course, also Mundo up in the top lane picked up the teleport, which is not a surprise, but that does mean YSSC have gone for a double teleport strategy, so a lot of global pressure coming out there, which might be a little bit difficult for AV to deal with. If they don't get ahead, obviously, we'll be looking for this Lucian to get quite an early lead on that Kassadin, as you say.
Okay, now, the time ticking down, teams probably having a chance to suss each other out and see, you know, what they're going to be dealing with in the early stage of the game. Kha'Zix now with his changes has fluctuated. We've seen people say he's great, seen people say he's not so good. I've seen people panter with him in recent times, so he can't be that bad. But talking about his changes, you know, the way his ultimate works now as well, we're seeing people now going towards maxing the void spikes. Also, the fact that his Q actually does more damage now than it did beforehand, providing his target are isolated. Kha'Zix less of a champion you can face roll with now, maybe one you need to pick your engagements a little bit more. How can you elaborate on that for us a little bit?
Not really. I mean, you just have to play the game the way that it's being changed into the meta. And of course, Kha'Zix, as you say, was kind of a face roll champion previously. He did receive, I mean, he's been receiving nerfs pretty much continuously since release. So maybe he's now finally into a position where Riot's happy with his performance in these games, but we will have to see, you know, depending on how he goes in the next few months or so, whether or not he's going to receive another nerf or maybe a buff, something like that. We'll see.
Okay, tough champion to, I guess, to keep sort of balance here as well, especially with the reset potential. And, you know, you see bad Kha'Zix plays, you see excellent ones, but we probably expect to see the latter here. Guo going to be on that champion now. It's time to tick down, and this is where we normally would show you the summoner spells, but you've already had the spiel about that. So Porky is going to be obviously taking that teleport as well. He and Jack in the Pox, of course, on Mundo in that top lane. Obviously that mid lane, of course, between Little Cutie Cheese and Kensti. It's going to be interesting, that one now. So Lucian now with his ridiculous propensity to get as many dashes as he does, please, now with the cooldown being reduced every time he procs a light slinger passive. Very interesting to see how you know, Lucian works. We know his mobility is almost second to none now with the way that he has been changed. We'll have to see, though, if he can be as input as he may like to be. Is there any stage of this game Elfish Beard early, sort of mid or late, where one team has a distinct advantage here, or are both on fairly level pegging?
Well, I think they're both fairly even. You know, early game, I think probably going to favor AV. They've got the Lee Sin, which is a very strong early game jungler. Of course, also Lucian, as we spoke about previously, going to have that early game advantage against the Kassadin. So they're going to be looking maybe for some ganks in that mid lane before Kassadin does hit 6 and get that ridiculous mobility that we're speaking about. And of course, Lucian as well, as you spoke about with the changes, really quite strong mobile champion now, and quite difficult to deal with for a lot of champions, and of course, even more so now for Kassadin. So expect a lot of action in that mid lane, I think, in the early game. But as this game progresses into the mid game and the late game, I think the teams are fairly evenly matched. Might give the edge a little bit to AV. I think they have a nice sort of front line compared to YSSC. Obviously, Mundo going to get kited a little bit, but you know, we'll have to see how this game turns out.
Absolutely. A quick shout out, of course, to our CGPL sponsors, Logitech, AMD, M-Wave, Netgear, BenQ, and MSI. Keeping us running here. Big shout out to you guys as well. And also a big shout out to everyone that has been getting involved in the MOBAs and all that sort of stuff we've had in recent weeks. And if you want to know more about those, a quick shout out to Oceanic Esports as well. You can check them out on Facebook, and I'm sure Jordan will be happy I put that one out there. But yes, I even went over to Brisbane for that as well. Just flew over just for Wildcards. It was a lot of fun. So I really recommend you guys get plugged in to what's happening in your local community area in terms of League of Legends. There's always stuff going on. If you ever are wondering, you can always ask my friend here, Elfish Guy. We are going to be into the game very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen. If you have just joined us, my name is Mitch, even Leslie. I'm here with Jordan, Elfish Guy, Maze. And this is, I believe, a round 3 game between both of these teams. I think YSSC are 0-2. So they've got a lot to prove here. Whereas Avant-Garde are 1-1. If you are wondering about the standings on the rest of the ladder, Team Exodus stand at the top so far with 3-0. They've already played their 3 games. NV are not far behind at all with a 2-0, actually a good win over Legacy as well. I believe they went 2-0 in that best of 2 there. So I am as well not far behind them on 2-0 as well. So that's how the top 4 shapes up here. But we are obviously interested to see what these 2 teams are going to produce for us here, Avant-Garde and Yusol Shalchuffa. Of course, plenty of these names you should have seen around a lot. And in fact, YSSC relatively unchanged over recent times, and we've seen them actually with some fantastic results. And for those of you who believe watching ACL Sydney, they had an excellent run there as well. So we're definitely watching out for these guys as we progress here, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to get onto the Rift here, and I'm definitely looking forward to what the early stages of this game will bring when we do get there. Tell me, how do you shut down top Maokai at the moment? We know he's been super, super strong, but when is he weak, if at all?
I really think if you can, you know, obviously this is going to sound like a pretty blanket statement, but if you can get some ganks in early, he does have a little bit of difficulty escaping when that flashes down because he doesn't have his own sort of mobility. If you can get onto him, he'll try to knock you up and knock you away, but he doesn't have sort of a what do they call it, a gap closer that he can use to escape. So, you know, the likes of Lee Sin, obviously not going to be on the opposition side for him, but a Lee Sin or something like that is going to have a nice time getting on top of him. So that would be the time. But, you know, once he hits level 6, you're pretty much not going to kill him because that ultimate gives him lots of damage reduction.
Absolutely. So kind of what I figured here. So I have to see how Porky plays that early game now and tries to stay safe. But we are at the Rift, of course, ladies and gentlemen. And both teams sort of just facing up here. We can see Porky just poking his head towards Guo there and an early ward being dropped down. No free gold this time for the Avant lads up there. So the line of scrimmage has been drawn here. No fancy schmancy stuff at all really, except Porky being fairly confident and needing a cleaver for his troubles. Trying to light up that tri-bush there, and he will do that as well. So neither team at all for anything overly tricky here. Is this what you'd expect given their team compositions and the way things are going at the moment? Elfish, or are we hoping, are we expecting, or maybe were we expecting something a bit more aggressive here?
I wasn't really expecting aggressive. Obviously, the meta seems to be kind of fairly safe so far in the early. You know, you can try and get in there, put some early wards down. But it looks like both these teams kind of just happy to scout each other out in this first game because obviously there will be another one coming up after this. So they might try something in that second game, you know, where the stakes maybe for one of these teams is not as high because they've already picked up that win.
So crisp. I like it when you talk like that, Jordan. All right, now we are ticking down, of course, to our buff spawns. It's going to be a red buff start for Yozora here. And Guo going to be starting at blue in a relatively expected fashion. It does seem like standard lanes is the name of this early game. Neither team really, it looks like, keen to do anything in terms of swapping them up here. So the 2v2 bot lane will be interesting to watch here. And of course, as we approach that level 2, level 3, and level 6 points, looking to see if either team wants to try and forge an advantage there.
Yeah, you can see immediately Cassidy having up that cloth 5 pots, looking for a defensive start, which is no surprise at all up against the Lucian. And you can see he's down a little bit of CS already, missing one to the tower there. So he's having a fairly difficult time already. Hopefully we'll be able to see him sort of claw his way back as this gets into the mid.
Well, all he needs is a couple of kills to get at least a bit of free time in lane. So let's hope that Yozora is looking to try and help him out there as he is heading towards the red buff here of Guo. And he's probably going to run into him in just a moment here. Plenty of farming to be seen in the bot lane there. Level 2 comes up first for Avantgarde. And Veritas coming forward with a phosphorus bomb. Just a bit of extra damage towards Denny. Very nice indeed. Here's Yozora though. Wants to mess with Guo, but the ward coming down at a timely time. And the damage from Kesty comes in. First blood for Yozora. And of course, the red buff will come away with it as well. So pretty heartbreaking for Guo there as he's trying just to get started, as of course Kha'Zix does. So good start though from Avantgarde.
Yeah, definitely not fun for you as a jungler if you get killed at your second buff. So he's going to be a long way behind now. And Cassidy here, Kensti, super aggressive on Little Cutie Cheese. Not going to pick up the kill, but can force Little Cutie Cheese on that Cassidy to go back.
There's a filthy amount of damage coming from Kensti early on here. And Little Cutie Cheese being forced to back with only 9 CS to his name. That's 17 for Kensti here. So a distinct lead is being forged here. Going to have to use the teleport to get into that lane. And we can see a bit of argy-bargy going on towards the top side of the map there. And a pause will come out here. And that's the care of Kensti here. So perhaps just some lag issues to deal with here. Yeah, so we'll see that get sorted out in due course. Looking over the map early on here, we can see that Porky's opted for the Doran's Ring start there. Do you feel like that's fairly standard? 16 and 11, so he is have a slight lead in that lane.
Yeah, you don't need to go for anything defensive really against Mundo. He's not going to be in a position to kill you anyway, so you may as well pick up that little bit of extra damage off that Doran's Ring.
Okay, so now obviously you're looking to get back into the game. The unpause has come out. Excuse me. We can see Veritas and Nada trying to put a lot of pressure on top. Porky doing the same as well, actually. He's in the top lane, sorry. Really trying to shove Jack in the Box under that tower there. Phosphorus bomb going out from Veritas as well. Nice dark binding. Will hit onto Denny and just force him away from this one. Flying G being forced to put up that Unbreakable and cop a little bit of damage on the chin, but Braum has a stout chin. He's quite happy to do that, I'm sure. It is a slight lead in CS to Veritas.
Yeah, a few little CS leads coming across the board for AV, but nothing too crazy. You can see Cassidy actually here in the mid lane having picked up a little bit more CS because Kensi had to recall just a little bit before. So now back to even CS in that mid lane. Nada going a bit aggressive there. It doesn't look like anything's going to come of it. The Dark Binding missing. Flying Jude trying to put down a bit of pressure, but just getting poked a fair bit, and I don't know how much longer he can keep this up for. He does only have one health pot left.
That's right, so we can see Nada doesn't have any mana pots either, so he's going to run a little bit low if he tries to spam those Dark Bindings too often here, but it's definitely just for a method to dissuade here as well. Porky going to go towards Jack in the Box. He does get the slow up. Twisted Advance comes in as well, and of course Yozora is going to be able to hit that point-blank Sonic Strike. Red buff will tick away. Yozora with 2 under his belt right now, sending the assist as well to top and mid. So very good start for Avantgarde's jungler there.
Yeah, that's something you're going to run into a fair bit as Mundo top. You're going to get dove before you hit level 6 because you don't have that innate sustain. And he is actually surprisingly squishy when he doesn't have any items on him. So Lee Sin doing quite a lot of damage to him there, and he's going to have to teleport back up into the top lane. Looks like Lee Sin still hanging around in the top lane. This could be risky if they do decide to dive.
It is a heavy dive. Yozora going fairly low to tower. He's going to have to flash away there. Will just if I'm not mistaken now. But I would call that a failed dive if I'm not mistaken there. He's going to have to back on away. A lot of damage towards Jack in the Box though, despite the Negatron Cloak to try and deal with Maokai. He's got both physical and magic damage coming at him there with that combination. Jack in the Box throwing a cleaver out there. We did miss a bit of an engagement in the bottom slightly. That really just meant Denny had to head back home as well. So all lanes performing fairly strongly right now for Avantgarde.
Yeah, and that's what we expected. We did speak about in the early game that they did have a slight advantage, but if we do get to see some sort of a dragon fight or something coming up soon, maybe we will see YSSC come back into this game. But it will be difficult for them, I think, actually, because obviously a Lee Sin with 2 kills are going to be doing quite a lot of damage, especially when he's taking out your Mundo on a tower, who is supposed to be your frontline tank.
Well, he's definitely not going to be that yet, and he's not going to be that if he doesn't make it to that kind of critical mass where Mundo is just impossible to take care of. And the same kind of happens to Maokai as Kensi comes forward towards Little Cutie Cheese there. Bit of damage for free. Why not take it if you can? And now I think that's going to force a movement over towards Dragon. Here we can see it already being started off by Veritas. No, sorry, should I say Flying Jew attempting that one as well. Little Cutie Cheese might get caught here. We do see the stand behind me coming out from Flying Jew. Unbreakable in front, not blocking a great deal of damage, but Kensti knows better than to try and fight that one.
Oh, watch out.
Oh. Yozora is caught here. He did have to eat a chomp, but he's got a couple of kills on it. Will it be enough to deal with this? Oh, we do see the Cully coming through. Not quite enough damage on that yet from Kensti. And Yozora getting caught out there. Inopportune positioning, to say the very least there. Jack in the Box is going to be forced to try and back away using that sadism, get a bit of health.
Yeah, as we said in the top lane, not really going to be many kills coming out apart from jungle pressure, because you can just see the likes of Mundo going to pop that ulti, and Porky, of course, on the Maokai going to be getting that innate sustain off his passive as well. So, so much health regen coming in that top lane.
Ridiculous amounts. And Jack in the Box now at that level 6, but it doesn't exactly mean his trading potential is going to be increased. It's more his survivability. Whereas Porky, obviously, his ult is depending on the damage he takes as well, becomes even more effective. So it's just ridiculously good at those elongated periods of handbag slapping, as I like to call it, or wet noodle fighting, as other casters have referred to it as well. Flying G going to enter Dark Binding there, but Unbreakable just to dish away a little bit of extra damage coming through, and Little Cutie Cheese will take the blue. It looks like Yozora wants a bit of it. He goes towards Guo. We're going to see a flash away from Little Cutie Cheese. Guo is going to have to jump as well, and a blue buff will be secured for Little Cutie Cheese, but only just.
Yeah, that's going to help Little Cutie Cheese out a little bit. You still think he's not going to have a fun time in that mid lane against Kensti. Going to still be looking for those roams. His port is up now, so we'll see what he decides to do with it. Dragon being started here now by AV. Don't think that YSSC has any idea that this is going on.
And even if they did, I think they really have the resources in the right locations to take care of it. So Dragon going over towards blue team. It's a 2.4k gold lead. Now, 8 minutes and 20 seconds in Jack in the Box. Still trying to duke it out with Porky, but he is struggling. We can see another sadism pop there, and he's forced to back away. A lot of harassment towards that bot lane, though, as well. And we can see the same happening in mid lane. Kensti putting the pressure down on Little Cutie Cheese. Maybe wants that blue buff for himself, but is going to have to wait for a more opportune time to try and take that one.
The thing's not looking particularly great for YSSC at the moment. Guo getting shut down a little bit in the jungle here, Zoro. He's had a couple of... he's had his first buff stolen and got killed, and also, you know, there was a lot of pressure on him in that blue buff there as well. Flying Jew here, going aggressive. Not going to get anything out of it. We're just going to take a whole bunch of rockets to the face.
A Dark Binding guaranteeing a perfect phosphorus landing on towards the head of Denny, and Veritas and Nada playing it, excuse me, very nicely. Here we go, Kensti coming forward towards Little Cutie Cheese. It's going to be the Null Sphere and a bit of shield and a back on away out of there. Veritas and Nada again pushing this wave in. Now the CS lead is starting to get out of hand. 77 plays 49. And it's not good news for Denny now. He does have a strong late game. But Jack in the Box is going to get jumped on as well. We do see Ventral Maelstrom has come down. It is proc. Jack in the Box will die. Will Porky be able to deal with the tower damage? No, red buff is going to tick. Guo's going to pick that one up now. Will he try and fight Yozora? Bait him under the tower perhaps? No. Guo's going to back away. The flash is not going to matter. Double kill coming out for Yozora now. In the bot lane, Little Cutie Cheese trying to go aggressive on the Veritas. But the Valkyrie is going to get the Daring Bombardier out of trouble.
Yeah, Little Cutie Cheese actually used that teleport to get down to bot lane, and Morgana went down somewhere in there. I didn't actually see what happened. I assume coming out from the Castle and teleport, so at least something coming now in the favor of YSSC. Get that kill in the bot lane, but the double kill up in the top lane, not going to be good news for them, of course. Going over to the Lee Sin as well now, so he's 4-1-0. Actually decided to pick up a side stone. Going to be jumping around all the places with that ward.
Absolutely, and of course, the wards are also going to be there, so when he uses them, it's actually going to have, obviously, that little bonus of a bit of extra vision towards Avant-Garde, and I don't think anyone can say no to a little bit of extra vision. Speaking of that, Jack in the Box going to clear out this pink ward here in the top tri-brush, and we do see a bit of position over here towards the blue side for Avant-Garde. They're just trying to secure that blue there for Kensti, so he continues to be the menace that he has shown himself to be in that mid lane. 92 CS and an assist for him, really making life hard for Little Cutie Cheese yet, and we saw Cassidy trying to roam bottom, tried to open up an opportunity there, but couldn't really deal with Veritas, and the Corki managed to get away from that one.
Yeah, Jack in the Box going to be in trouble here again. Or not. Lee Sin deciding he'd rather actually count the ward. So it's going to be a little bit of a vision destruction there coming out.
Well, you're going to enter Dark Binding towards mid, and Kensti thinking about it, but no, trying to aggress towards Little Cutie Cheese here as well. And Veritas trying to go on here. Flying G comes forward. I don't think we'll see Glacial Fisher here. Oh, we'll try for it. He's going to knock up Veritas. It's going to be a dive. The Super Mega Death Rocket comes straight through and picks that kill up. Good work there for the bot lane. of course, of YSSC, but now Nada coming back through. In the meantime, Tower going down towards Porky, so trading the kill for that Tower. Avant-Garde still looking pretty sharp. It's a 4K gold lead. It's starting to blow out of proportion. The YSSC holding on for dear life.
Yeah, that was really well played in the bot lane there. High YSSC's bot lane, but not sure if it's enough. They really need to get a few more kills under the belt of Jinx. She's got 2 kills, but you know, only 800 gold sitting there in the bank, and she really wants to pick up that BF sword so that she can pick up the Infinity Edge as well. And she also hasn't even got boots yet, so quite a ways behind Corky.
Right, Porky now delivering some presence to mid lane as he does have that freedom to roam. We can see, oh, look at this. Zora wants to go towards Guo. He's going to get caught in a chopper zone. There's a lot of damage coming his way. And of course, the kick coming out just to try and put Guo out of that one. Teleport coming in here as well from Porky. Is there an opportunity to be made? Will it be a flash, twist advance over the wall? Ken still wants to dash for this one. He wants Guo, but Denny might do for him for now. A lot of damage coming over towards Flying Jew as well. Unbreakable does go up. 4 plays here from Avant-Garde position. They want this tower. They want to fight. They want something here. The entire team is set up in the bot lane, and they are going to use the strength in numbers to take that bottom tower, although I feel like what they wanted more was a bit of a stoush.
Well, I mean, this is the right mentality here coming out from AV. They do have that advantage, of course, with the 4K gold, so they really need to group here and take some objectives and force that even more. So nice work from them to get that bot tower. Don't know if they're going to have an easy time picking up this tower here. They should be able to muscle it out.
The little cutie cheese on the side, looking for something here. Any opportunity can open up. Jack in the Box might be forced to pop that Sadism a little bit earlier than he would like. This. The siege potential is filthy here from Avant-Garde. Look at them pushing in here. So many tools at their disposal to poke down YSSC under their own tower. Kesty coming in again. Filthy damage yet again. And the YSSC, most of them under 40% of their health. Jack in the Box, he's had to regen his health up. His ult is on cooldown. Dark Binding towards Jack in the Box now. AV can potentially do this for quite a protracted period of time. They've got the sustain in terms of mana and stuff like that, but they will back away a little bit. Kenzie going to eat a winner's bite there. Ooh, and oh wow, Porky going to eat the zap as well. Looks like the little cutie cheese finally decides he wants to go in. He's going to pick that one up. Veritas coming forward towards him as well. Cassidy will get away. Flying Jew going to throw out the disengage in the winner's bite, but will it be a re-engage? He's looking for an opening here. Kenzie is going to have to come forward. Very, very tense times here right now. The Sonic Strike is going to get hit. But Zora not going to follow up onto that one. So as the smoke clears, it was a 1 for 0. YSSC pick up the kill. No tower for Avant-Garde. And they're going to have to back away.
Yeah, not a good result there, I would expect for AV. They probably didn't want to lose that kill there, especially considering Dragon going to be up in 5 seconds, which puts YSSC in a really nice position to pick it up. All of AV have gone back, but I don't think they have the timer for it. It looks like they're unaware that it's happened, that it actually has come back up.
Okay, now we can see teams again position themselves around this Dragon, trying to get some extra gold.
Late.
Yeah, no, that's right. We see Avant-Garde not going to be there in time, so importantly enough for YSSC, a little bit of handy gold there. No chance for Avant to really go onto that. That was really messy, that last passage to play over towards that tower, actually, now I think of it. And neither team really getting a distinct advantage from it. In fact, if anything, Avant giving up what perhaps should have been a lead that they had there. Dark Binding just going to whip past Denny here. Sonic Wave will hit. There goes Zora. I think he can manage his Lee Syndrome for now.
Yeah, so I was going to just bring that up. If he had gone in on that, he would have been in a little bit of trouble. Looks like they're going to transfer this siege mentality over to the mid lane. Duo taking a fair bit of damage off that culling. But
this is what happens. If Avant-Garde get ahead with his team composition, their siege is so broken. Porky goes straight in as well, backward forward as well from Veritas. Oh, there goes Zora, does pick up yet another kill. Little cutie cheese just drop. Nada picks up Denin. That was a 3 for none. Just a bit of a siege, then an engage. What a fantastically balanced composition here from Avant-Garde. They can really do what they like, and I would not be surprised if YSSC have to fold a lot earlier than they would like here.
This is a really fast game, actually. 15 minutes, we're already seeing the first inhibitor go down. The scoreline 7-5 doesn't really show you how sort of far apart these teams are. It's the 5-0 tower difference that is really going to, is really the statistic that you want to look at if you're into those kind of statistics. AV looks so strong right now, and I don't think YSSC has any answers for them.
Look, I mean, at 15 minutes into the game, 6K gold lead is a death knell for you if you're YSSC. It is a huge lead for Avant-Garde to have, and if they win lane with this composition, which they kind of can because Lucian's so strong at laning right now, so is Maokai, combined with the siege potential of so many of these champions, if not all of them, in fact, they have such consummate ease pushing forward onto those towers and diving them if they need to do that. And there's really not a lot that YSSC have to answer with at the moment. You know, Guo is just, he got a couple kills on it, but really not becoming the that scary, scary bug that he does like to become later on in the game, jumping in and assassinating those crucial targets. There's just no margin for him to do that right now. And we can see 16 minutes and 40 seconds. Huge gold lead to AV.
Yeah, they're just sort of clearing out their jungle a little bit here. The buff going over to Lucian. Oh, actually, both of them have one. I assume it went over to Lee Sin. No, it went over to Lucian. So Lucian picking up the blue buff, of course. Corki, as we saw, picking up that red buff as well. And now they're going to be looking to push down this mid lane a little bit, get those creeps rolling, and then head to another lane. It looks like they're heading up to top. So those super creeps in the mid lane going to have a little bit of a problem. Are going to pose a little bit of a problem, rather, for YSSC. And AV here, hanging around Baron. Not sure if it's the best idea, but Flying Jew getting caught out a little bit.
Wow, Yozora, he's fed enough to do enough damage. Flying Jew going to get back as well. Crucially getting caught out there. The Sonic Wave just going to clip him as he tries to back away. Triforce for Veritas. Spirit of the Ancient Lizard? Ancient Lizard. Whatever. The lizard guy obviously coming out for Yozora as well, so a bit of damage for him. We do see the Rod of Ages ticking up nicely for Porky as well. Avant-Garde just going where they please right now, and Mundo's not even on their team. We see Soul Shackles coming down. It will proc on the Jack in the Box there. Nada's going to have to back away, but a lot of damage going towards that Mundo. We do see the Twisted Advance coming in as well. A lot of aggression from Avant-Garde, but can they back it up? That's the question. We do see the Sapling going down there. Denny, big force back. Nice heal coming out from him as well. Flying Jew is at the front. Unbreakable. Getting broken through there. Kenzie now going to have to back away from the Glacial Fish. A little cutie cheeks is going to get caught in a dark bind as he tries to come forward. That was his chance. He's got no mana either. Jack in the Box is trying to come forward. A cleaver going towards Veritas here, but again, YSSC lacking the tools to make a fight of this one.
Yeah, it looked a little bit dangerous there for AV at one. I thought they might have gone a little bit too ham, but managing to get out of there all right and pick up the tower, so they'd probably be pretty happy with that. YSSC, I expect, would be quite disappointed being able to pick up a kill, and Jack in the Box here getting jumped on, but I don't think he's going to go down.
Well, they're cutting it a bit fine here. Jack in the Box will drop down. Kenzie Veritas low as well, but not much he can do to respond to this. Guo looking for something, but realizing that probably best to back away here and tend to that mid lane shoving right on in. It's an inhibitor down there as well. At this stage, Elfish Guy, Avant-Garde can just absolutely do whatever they like all over the map. You can see the items are coming out really nicely for them as well. A massive gold lead. And YSSC trying to put a few items in their inventory as well, but it's just not going to be enough at this stage.
Yes, AV all over this game at the moment. You can see the Trinity Force coming out, which is pretty standard on a Lucian and a Corki, of course. Again, Yozora going aggressive, and YSSC just having to back away at every stage of this game. So if they do win one team fight, though, you feel like they might be able to turn this game around.
Well, that's going to be the anyway. The first step is trying to catch Avant-Garde here now as they just roam casually through the jungle of YSSC. You can see the Veritas throwing the pink ward down, just trying to prevent them really from being caught out as they rotate through. Jack in the Box is aware of this, though. He's going to throw Cleaver towards the bush. Oh, Sonic Wave and Dark Binding. Gonna just miss him now, but Avant just trying to buy themselves a bit of freedom here to maybe make a tilt on that Baron. They want to get a pick here, ideally, I would say, over towards Guo, get that smite off the side of YSSC and then go for that Baron. We can see pink wards galore here. Jack in the Box trying to clear one as well. It's real Fnatic play right now for Avant-Garde. This is all they really need to do here. They just need to make sure that they can take that Baron easy now. Oh, Yozora going 40 and flying through the one is caught. He takes a fair bit of damage, but Yozora going low in the process. Porky is amongst the mix here. We can see the Vengeful Mouse doing some serious work. Oh, the Super Mega Death Rocket comes in as well. It is a full-scale retreat for YSSC right now. Little cutie cheese trying to back away. You can see Jack in the Box is going to get caught. There's not much he can do about that at all. The flash will buy him some time, but will it be enough? He tries to back away. We can see the push onto this inhibitor now. Avant-Garde going to do some work on that one. It is a short respawn time for Flying Jew. He's up in 4 seconds. Avant-Garde without Yozora as well. A 1-for-1 trade, but another inhibitor take for Avant-Garde.
Yeah, and we're back to kind of square one again for YSSC. They did so long. They had to hang on so long against that inhibitor being down, waiting for it to come back up, and once again, the inhibitor is down for another few minutes, so they'll have to play defensive again. And there's a pink ward here going to be taken out on that blue buff. A little bit risky now for AV. They could get caught out here.
Barry Nada getting caught up here as well. Gonna have to go back in on towards Guo. Guo got low. Veritas still full health, but not much mana really left in his pocket. But we can see Flying Jew now. A lot of damage coming out from Kensty. All of Avant-Garde are having to back away here. We can see Nada getting caught by Jack in the Pox. An important pick for that Mundo, and he's going to be able to get out of there as well. Porky, on only about 600 health, wants to stay in that bush there, wants to open something up. Avant-Garde super confident right now. Goes Zora back towards full health. Jack in the Box walking straight to Kensty. Kensty gets caught though. Little Cutie Cheese going to come towards him as well. A lot of damage coming out. That's another one for that Cassidy. But Porky takes one in response. In fact, that was Veritas' kill now as he goes over the wall towards Flying Jew. Nice work now. Veritas coming forward. Quo on towards Veritas. We can see now Cork having to back away. Good little rocket there to clean up Kha'Zix. Little Cutie Cheese wants that kill, but it will get picked up there. Goes Zora now with a kick on towards Denian. They just want to fight. This is all us Australians do. Goes Zora. Picks up Denian. Now going to fight it out with Little Cutie Cheese. Zora trying to stay alive. Little Cutie Cheese has got that Iceborne Gauntlet. He will be able to pick up the kill. That was messy. A 4-for-4 fight. Well, I guess 4-for-5 really if you think of Nada getting killed. It was just messy. Nonetheless, Nada wants to fight there. It is going to be a Rift Walk out of the Dark Binding. And the chase is on though. Nada is not going to stop for anything here. Of course, you can see her coming forward now as well. She wants to get there. She's got the MOBA boots, but she'll have to settle and back away from the wall.
Yeah, but all in all, I guess a good for AV because they had those creeps pushing into the base. The super minions managing to take out one of those Nexus turrets. So half the battle already done now for AV. All they really need to do is sort of push into there. And there's only one turret to deal with now instead of two, which is nice for them. And they're hanging around the Baron here. They've got some nice ward coverage, as you spoke about before, in the red side jungle. Pink wards everywhere. There's 3 on the map so far, and there was 5 before, which I was going to mention, but there was a fight breaking out, so didn't get the chance. So you can see they're trying to really get control of this jungle.
You can see Avant are happy to catch Blind Jew out here because they know they can kill him quickly enough here. Good shield coming out on towards Nada herself or himself just to make sure he didn't get caught in that process there. So, yeah, Chains of Corruption being used for that one. Zora wants to come forward yet again. Little Cutie Cheese. Scurry going to back away. Veritas as well, throwing a rocket in their direction to send it back to the pavilion. And Avant-Garde again looking to work around this Baron area here. Looks like they just want picks at the moment, just to set up camp essentially in YSSC's jungle here. Ward clearing happening towards Baron. The 4 members now for YSSC. Again, sweepers off cooldown, trying to get those wards out of their jungle. Baron being started up here as well. Zora a little bit low. Apart from that, nothing to write home about now. They are going to get this one done. Flying Jew's going to work his way across from base, but most of YSSC are here already. What can they do? Glow looking for an opportunity and opening something. Nada going fairly low. Jack in the Box is going to pop his on and come straight forward here. They will almost, yes! Super Mega Death Rocket is going to pick up the Morgana. Look at Flying Jew come straight on in. Great facial feature there. Going to knock everyone up. Zora and Corky with a kick back towards Flying Jew. Glow going low. Heal flashing away. Porky now looking pretty good still. Kensty coming forward at the back line. He's taking no damage whatsoever. That's a double kill for Veritas so far. Then we got Little Cutie Cheese picks up Veritas in response, but there's Kensty's kill. A double kill for Little Cutie Cheese. Now Glow is going to get a sapling drop right on his noggin. A clean ace for 3 deaths for Avant-Garde. Well, not a clean ace, sorry. I would say a 5-for-3 fight. We'll say that much anyway. Porky and Kensty still standing. Plenty of objective crushing potential there as well. Looks like, though, the 2 of them might back away, potentially for a dragon, but I think they've had enough. For the messy fight, not enough for Avant-Garde to be going onto Baron with. YSSC managing to hold them off that one for now.
Yeah, but that inhibitor going to be coming up soon now for YSSC as well, so they do actually kind of have a little bit more of an opportunity to get out of their base. They don't need to be sitting there defending against minions as much. So this really opens up the map a little bit for them. They can get a little bit more into their jungle, get rid of some of those wards there that AV have been placing down everywhere. So might be able to get a little bit more control of this game. And of course, Little Cutie Cheese sitting there on 7-2 on Cassidy, and that's actually quite good for him, and maybe something that AV does need to worry about, if anything, in this game.
He's been doing pretty well keeping himself alive throughout these fights. I've got to say, for him to pick up the double there as well, we saw how much Guo struggled in that when he had to really stick to the back line and sort of get healed and be very, very careful about the way he jumped in, only to have a present thrown in his head. Little Cutie Cheese now finding some gold and put that death cap in his inventory as well as the Iceborne Gauntlet. Now we can see Jack in the Box getting tankier as well. Randuin's to join Spirit Visage in his inventory. So it's not to say the YSSC don't have the capacity to fight right now. It's just to be very careful about the way they do it. Kensty was untouched for most of that last fight. Did a lot of damage now. Little Cutie Cheese happy to trade with Zora for now. And the Chomper's going to catch Kensty. He's going to dash away from that one now. Borky, happy to soak it up. He wants to go towards Quo here. Anyone really is trying to spread that ventral maelstrom as much as he can. You can see Denny sitting in the back. Glacial Fisher coming out, going to knock Kensley up principally. And he is still in the back line though. We see Change and Corrupted going out towards Flying Jew. Flying Jew will drop Quo. Got to cop a little bit of the culling. He's going to have to back right on the way. Heal coming out there for Veritas as he does a lot of damage around the sides of that fight. Flying Jew does drop. Quo drops. We can see now everyone coming forward. Little Cutie Piece having to back away. Oh, the Sonic Wave does hit. Can Yozora do it? No. It's got to be a jump into the fountain. And cleverly enough there, it's going to see Porky drop, but I don't think it is enough. After all that, YSSC running out of players to defend now. Look at the aggression from Yozora to flash away as well, and I think it's going to be game from here. Little Cutie Cheese Jenny can still make something happen. I shouldn't say it's over yet. Casey getting caught in. The Nexus will finally drop. That was messy. That was a bloodbath. That was, well, almost 40 kills after 26 minutes, so that should really lay it out for you guys. The first game, though, of this best of 2 series going in favor of Avant-Garde in what I think was a fairly dominating performance.
Yeah, pretty crazy game coming out from them, and you'd expect YSSC going to have to rethink their strategy. I think the Cassidy pick, while it did do a lot of, I guess his score looks pretty good, I don't think it worked out quite so much prioritizing that. They did leave open the Maokai, which caused them a few headaches. So YSSC going to have a look at who they decide to ban. Of course, they're going to be on the blue side in the next game, so they are going to have first pick. We'll see how that affects their pick and ban phase.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be with our second game of this best of 2 series very, very soon. Of course, a quick shout out to our sponsors, Logitech, AMD, M-Wave, Netgear, BenQ, and MSI. I am Uber, here with Elfish Guy. We'll be back very, very soon. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Team Down TV's coverage of the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships. My name is Uber, joined here by Elfish Guy. We are into Game 2 of this best of 3, to correct myself from earlier on, of course, between Your Soul Shall Chuffer and Avant-Garde. Huge first game from Avant-Garde, Elfish Guy. What do the guys from YSSC need to do, really, to bring it here?
Need to probably ban that Lee Sin. It had quite a bit of an impact. A pick or ban, maybe. And of course, the Maokai there taken away as well. So those two, really, I think, were the power picks for AV and NAC. So we'll see now what YSSC decide to use as their third ban. Of course, Swain again taken away from Little Cutie Cheese. AV not keen to go up against that one.
Yeah, I don't really blame him, to be honest. That Maokai was impactful, to say the very least. And we saw, as we expected, post 6, it was all about Porky on that Maokai, especially in that lane. That being said, Guo really, I think, struggled to make an impact in that game, especially early on. We saw, he did come top a few times to help with Porky, but, I tell you what, Yozora was very, very active on that Lee Sin. It won't be banned out here, so there will still be a possibility for Yozora if he wants to pick that one up now. Nidalee, Yasuo, Zilean being banned, Swain, Maokai, Alistar. So Maokai just being added to the bans here for Avant-Garde. So they know, obviously, blue side gets the pick first, and they really don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, still no Kassadin ban though, so showing how much the meta's kind of shifted. He used to be the pick or ban, and 2 games in a row hasn't been banned at all, and actually was picked up on purple side last game, which is quite interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, he just wasn't impactful last game. If that isn't indicative of the place he's in currently, at least in the microcosm of these best of 3, then I don't know what is. He just, it was nothing against Little Cutie Cheese as well. He just got, this is what you do with the Kassadin. You pick someone who lanes strongly to shut him down. You swap an AD carry support there like they used to, or you just gank the balls off him. And unfortunately, Little Cutie Cheese struggled to get anywhere there. But here we go. Denian wants that Cogmore, and he is going to pick that one up. It was banned last game, if I am not mistaken. He will get it this time.
Cogmore and Tristan are both last game, but not this game, so they are open. And those are kind of the strong AD carry picks that you'd be looking at in these sort of at the moment. So we'll probably see a Tristan to pick up from AV unless they do decide to go for something else, which probably would differ depending on their team comp, but they are hovering that Tristana, so if they do lock that in, it wouldn't particular huge surprise at all.
Okay, seeing what you couple with Nami would be lovely. Thresh probably would have raised my eyebrow slightly, of course, being as strong as he is, but no, it will be Nada going forward on that Nami with the Tristana in the bot lane. So your bot lane's being prioritized here big time in this game, and we could see it was definitely a weak point for your Soul Shuffer in their last game. Let's see if they can rectify those issues now. A couple extra picks coming out, and here we go. Guo wants the Lee Sin. I mean, at this level, you expect probably anyone to be able to play Lee Sin at a high standard. Let's see, though, if he can stand up to what Yozora put on the table last game, because it was very, very good. That early roam to red, and especially the response from Kensti as well for him to come up. They picked off Guo. They got the red buff, and they just shut him down so hard. Guo's really got to be careful for that now. But Lee Sin, he's a guy you're happy to have on your side, especially early game. It's going to be up to Yozora, different champion, to deal with him now. Aurelia being picked up there. It's going to be Jack in the Box on that one.
Yeah, that's some nice late game coming out here already from YSSC. The Cogmore and Aurelia, obviously 2 really nice scaling champions. They'll be in the lane and the bot lane. Have a look here now what AV is going to pick up. Mundo being hovered, and Garen. I think these are maybe going to be some troll hovers. Not going to really speak too much about that. The Mundo probably more likely going to be up against the Aurelia, but he doesn't have the easiest time against Aurelia. Aurelia can put out a little bit of onto him early game, but if he can get into that late game, he of course pretty much can tank out anyone.
So tell me, Elvis, what's happened to Shyvana here? She's not really a pick that's being valued much right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think she just... a lot of these champions kind of fulfill her role, but better. Now you can see, I mean, Maokai, he's got that AoE kind of team fight damage with his ulti, and of course also brings out a lot more CC, and I would say he's even a little bit tankier than Shyvana, so I think kind of he's being substituted a little bit in favor of Shyvana.
Okay, so, well, fair enough. I think now, and the top lane has been sorted here, so it will be Porky on that Mundo. It's up to Jack in the Box here to make it happen. Let's be honest. I mean, last game he just couldn't. I mean, for whatever reason, the presence of Yozora or the strength of Porky, we know that he's capable. We know we can pull it out here, so we just need to see if that is really what is planned for this next game. Flying Dew thinking about Braum yet again, and I'll tell you what, when he did land those Glacial Fishes, they were very impactful. I mean, we always saw a priority target. It's almost like Flying Dew was aiming to hit them with just the edge. The very end of that Glacial Fisher and knocking someone up there, but Flying Dew maybe preferring a Thresh pick here, which is definitely, I know, as a comfort pick from him. I've seen some fantastic games from him on Thresh here, and Denim might be picking up for Little Cutie Cheese at Rihanna here. So mid laner being picked up here as well. Going to hopefully combine nicely with a bit of the dive potential that YSSC do have, and now it's up to Kenzie to think of how he's going to deal with the Orianna in lane. I know she lanes fairly strongly in general, and I'd love to see Vel'Koz. I would love it.
Yeah, it would be nice, but I don't think we'll be seeing it. I have to see what he does decide to lock in. It's going to be the mid pickup. Obviously, Nami going to be in the bot lane there, so Kassadin. That's possibly the one that's going to be there. Karthus, I don't expect that one going to be picked up.
No, not really. But that being said, Ari now being looked at here as well, and I think Kenzie just wants to play with his options a little bit here. Whatever can really deal with that Orianna. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I know they're toning down her Clockwork wind-up as we look ahead. Previous or future sort of balance runs there as well. I think TF would be a very, very strong pickup here for Avant-Garde. Just adding to that global pressure that we know that they're going to want to be having, especially if there's already a teleport on Porky there. So Twisted Fate is locked in. It's going to be picked up there. Kenzie playing that one in the mid lane. The old Flash Ghost Twisted Fate. Quite a scary threat to deal with, especially if he starts to get ahead.
Yeah, so much mobility out of that Flash Ghost, as you say, and of course you can't really count out that ultimate either. So probably the most mobile champion in the game. I mean, in terms of how quickly he can get around the map.
All right. Well, that is going to be the question, really, isn't it? How reactive the guys from YSSC are going to be able to be here, as they're just going to win lane. The fundamentals need to be there for YSSC, or they're just not going to make it. To the late game, or as it was put, I think a while back when supports would change their end game fantasies. The question is now, if they can get there, it's got to be strong lanes from these guys. It's got to be good coordination. Guo has to not get his legs chopped sort of to the stumps there in the early stages of the game. So all the champions are locked away now, and we do into a little bit of waiting period now, which is a great time. A little bit of more of a look over at this one as well. It's going to be Denny on Kog'Maw. Flying Dew will have the Thresh, so he is going for that one there as well. And what are they trying to do? Kog'Maw has shifted. I guess the way he's built has changed a lot. We've seen him being very, very popular in recent times. Is this an aggressive early lane? I mean, we know that Tristana needs to ramp a bit. Kog'Maw much the same. You pick a Thresh with this lane. Are you trying to make things happen? Are you trying to make that level 2, death sentence happen? Or are you trying to sit back on it? Where are the opportunities here for YSSC's bot lane?
Well, I mean, whenever you're going to Thresh, you always want to have that level 2 death sentence, as you spoke about. But if they can get it, I mean, of course, Tristana probably able to push a little bit harder than Kog'Maw with the sort of passive AoE damage that comes out from her auto attacks should she level the E. You'd expect she might be able to outpush a Kog'Maw. Really, I think if Flying Dew and Denian hit that level 2 though, they are going to look for that hook probably onto Nada. Nami, pretty famous for being relatively squishy. That'll be the target, and of course that'll force a flash if he does manage to hit that hook.
Absolutely. I definitely think the Veritas and Nada are going to be well aware of the fact, looking to try and play around that a little bit. There's nothing wrong with landing that Aqua Prison off the first level 2 as well, and we know that is a possibility. We know, of course, that Nami can actually Tide Caller's Blessing herself and get those auto attacks down, just to almost guarantee yourself a more accurate bubble there with a slow on towards the enemy. So, we've seen Nada be very, very aggressive in that last game, especially up against the Braum Jinx. He wanted to come forward. He wanted to land Dark Bindings. He wanted to, make some bank there off his Spell Thief Wand as well, but really wanting to get up in the face here. And, you can do that with Nami, but your margin of error is maybe a little bit less, in this situation. So, be careful with the Thresh. Terrifying amount of engaged potential, or, got Nada out of position. There's any oversights there as well. At least been picked up for Yozora. We saw the changes. We saw the QQ that accompanied the changes. What kind of state is she in right now?
Yeah, they did, I think, nerf Kuhn a little bit. It's a little bit thinner now. Carbon, I believe, spoke about that when he was over at Gamescom. Said he had a little bit of difficulty at Elise because he's used to the wider stun range that it used to have. So, maybe we'll see some little misses here coming out from Yozora. We'll see how familiar he is with that champion now, given those changes. So, something to watch out for, but obviously Ellie's still in a pretty decent position. Still one of the top junglers going around at the moment.
Okay, so to surmise everything as well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are casting the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships now in a ladder format. Best of 3 games they are until we look ahead towards the CGPL Finals that are coming up. And I won't share too much about that in case I share anything else. But, of course, the standings at the moment, at the top of the ladder, top 4 teams in this order are Exodus, Plantronics, NV, Team Immunity, and Avant-Garde, who we're seeing here as well. So surprisingly enough, or maybe not to some people, Legacy sort of sitting just outside of that bracket with 1 win and 1 loss. Plantronics, NV actually wants to take them down now. So Exodus looking very, very strong, at least on paper right now with the 3 wins and no losses. So continuing to go from strength to strength there. Of course, where were the ex-Immunity Team 1? They are opted to sort of go their own way now. So definitely all these teams still in the mix. We're only very, very early into the piece, round 3. And still some teams playing their round 2 games. So, yep, just getting started. And we definitely look to see how things develop as we sort of go through the season. Some big power teams here, Elfish Guy. I mean, all these players we've seen before, we know them quite well. They know each other quite well. And, you know, it's for that reason I probably didn't expect such a quick game last time. I just think that the guys from YSSC just let it get out of hand. The question is now, is their composition going to be enough, and is the coordination going to be enough to keep them into the game until which point where the Oriana is going to be half healthing AD carries with the command attack, and and Cogmore is going to get big. Can they do it?
I do actually prefer this team coming out from them. I think the last one that they had was a little bit squishy in the early game for my liking. Not to say this one isn't completely squishy, but there's a little bit more damage coming out of all stages of the game. Especially in the early game, given that Lee Sin is there. I don't know, it just feels more rounded to me in terms of just the damage and the tankiness and the peel and everything. I just like this team comp a little bit more, so I think they might have a better chance in this game. I mean, the last game, they didn't even really do anything wrong, so to speak. They just got slowly behind in the CS that we were speaking about, and then they lost a few towers, and then out of that, it just sort of slowly snowballed out of the way until they really just got destroyed at that inhibitor. So if they can kind of just play a tiny little bit better in this game, I think they have a much better chance.
Okay. Well, let's see if they've got the same idea as you do here, Elfish. Now, again, very similar setup to what we saw earlier on the last game. Avant-Garde throwing a couple wishful wards there, I think, over the Dragon Pit as well, just to catch any movement out. They are grouped as 5 here, and they do want to push in, spotted by a ward instantly. So how do YSSC respond to this one? They know, of course, Avant are planning something. Can they even respond to this? They're actually not moving at all. So all we can see is Flying Jew now responding by just backing off the bottom lane a little bit more, and Little Cutie Cheese not bothering. Is it the level 1 power of Avant-Garde that's scaring YSSC, or do they have something else planned?
I think they just don't really care. They just let those wards go, and obviously the red buff be warded, but it's not a major issue here for Guo if the red buff does get taken away, because he can go into that red side jungle or the top side jungle there of AV and pick up Yazora's red. So they just probably didn't really have many worries about AV getting into the jungle there.
Okay. Well, it was a fairly early as well. Usually, if they're going to try and pull something out of their hats, they'll be heading closer to a minute 40. But they did get a deep ward there for their travels quite close to where the red buff bush is. So they'll know exactly what Guo is up to in the early stages. He is actually positioned, obviously, up towards that when the pause coming out here as well, just to keep us in suspense. Bot lane items to beat up, of course, their Relic Shield coming up for Flying Jew, and although he won't be able to get that extra execute under 200 health, he'll still be able to use the stacks to get health back if he does hit properly with his Flay. So it's a virtual Relic Shield, I guess, for a non-ranged champion. So Flying Jew obviously looking to use that one as much as possible. Great if getting shoved in under your tower, especially, but that'll be the question as well. Which way this lane shifts. Of course, we know Veritas is invariably going to be pushing the lane a little bit, given the AOE effect, of course, the Ren passive on her on the auto attacks there. So, Benny Flying Jew, though, I want to see them fight. I want to see them make something concrete happen in the early stages here as well. Their lanes need to perform well. They just do. And I don't doubt, and we saw Guo really start to hit his straps a little bit too late in that last game, but we knew that he was capable of that kind of play. He just needs to maybe start off a little bit early. And Lee Sin, hopefully the right champion for that job.
Yeah, he did get shut down quite early on that red buff. At 3 minutes in or so, he died. So, as we spoke about, it's not a good situation at all for a jungler to be in. And you feel like Kha'Zix does get bursted pretty hard in the early game if he can't really pick the fights that he wants to. Lee Sin probably has a little bit of an easier time, does have a bit more mobility than Kha'Zix, so he might have a little bit of a better time in this game. So hopefully he can get a bit of an advantage and really snowball like what we saw Yuzora do last time on Lee Sin.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's, I guess, eyebrows raise a little bit sometimes when you see a bunch of kills going over to, you know, a jungler. You're thinking maybe, you know, gold might be better distributed across to, you know, a carry or something like that. But the reality was that Yuzora, in the early stages of that game, he was able to make plays happen, and he had the damage, he had the items, he had the survivability to back them up. He could be the spearhead that Avant-Garde really needed to go in, to dig someone out, and to just, you know, spread damage if he had to do that. So, you know, it was fine to have that god go over to him. I'm sure Kensti and Porky weren't complaining about getting assists off his work. And, you know, Yuzora recognized that the onus was on him to make things happen with the extra gold that he had, and he did it really, really well. And that's what you love to see in a jungler. You don't want to see him go back into the jungle and farm up their bloody flare as soon as they get those first few kills. So, well played by him. Now we can see Veritas and Corsair position close to that bot. Tribush here. They don't have any vision on that one as well. Flying Jew, none the wiser as well. I'd say they'd struggle to forge a kill between them here, even off a hit Aqua Prison. Now Veritas coming around the corner is in. It's just those two there, and they're just going to back Flying Jew off back towards the bot lane there. So cat's out the bag, and nothing to write home about that little confrontation here. Minions are starting to go head to head, and little Cutie Cheese wants to make an early lead over Kensti here.
Yeah, so we can see those wards having disappeared from the jungle that we spoke about before. So YSSC, as we said, didn't really care about those wards, and they're already gone. So they're not going to prove anything, any difficulty here at all for YSSC.
Okay, well, yeah, I wonder what really the pause to that, but maybe we'll save that for another time here in the bot lane, much as you would expect. It is Veritas coming forward with Nada. Pressure towards Flying Jew and Denian as well. You can see Nada obviously using the heal on himself to guarantee his heal and a little bit of damage. So just trading very, very nicely early on in that lane. And Jack in the Parks and Porky, it's going to be the wet noodle fight for a little while at least. But we expect these junglers to be very active. Flying G going down to about half health as well. Apart from that, though, it was fairly quiet over the rift.
Yeah, that's that level 2 sort of push that we saw coming, that we spoke about, where the explosive shot does get a little bit more AoE damage out rather than what Kog'Maw can do. So Veritas and Nada being able to get that level 2 early, not going to be able to do anything too badly with it, because obviously Flying Jew and Denian now level 2 as well, and the engage attempt coming out.
Yeah, not great. The Flying Jew just missing his play. The jump forward from Veritas. He can only do that when he's guaranteed the kill. Nada getting caught in the desert. See the flag back as well. But a little bit of heal on Nada is going to keep him looking pretty healthy. And even Yuzora came down bot as well just to make that happen. So, you know, well played there by Avant-Garde just to keep safe. And, you know, that flay just missing. Veritas in the early stages there from Flying Jew, probably regretting that one a bit.
Yeah, I think they kind of wanted Denian and Flying Jew to go aggressive on them because they did know Yuzora was coming down. It would have been a 3-2 fight, but no aggression, or not major aggression coming out there. Flying Jew and Denian going to probably save them. So they're going to sit there happily farming, and nothing crazy happening across the map yet. A little there in the bot lane, I guess you could say. But looks like we're going to see Guo and Yuzora meet here in the race.
Right, both with double buffs here as well. Guo is going to manage to dodge the Cocoon, of course, with a slightly smaller hitbox.
Yes.
And another pause here as well, so dealing with that. Look, and you know, to go back on the Veritas push there as well when they hit level 2 in the bot lane, you know, sometimes it's okay to hit level 2 first, even if you don't want to fight, because you still hit level 2 first, and you still have more spells in them. So you know, it means that you are at no risk of being engaged upon either. So that's always nice, and I think that gave him a bit of freedom there as well. But, you know, as I expected, Nada is coming forward a lot, you know, and these trades are really being swung quite nicely in the favor of Avant-Garde because of the heal, you know, that Nada had. Combined with Veritas damage as well, but you saw Veritas come forward. You never want to rocket jump forward unless you are guaranteed a kill. It is so risky. Obviously, that's your escape gone. So Veritas was very certain of that, not counting on the exhaust for starters. And the CC that Flying Jew still had available to him there. So a little bit aggressive maybe. Danny and Flying Jew almost made him pay for that one.
Yeah, had to up his flash as a result of that, and Nada also had to give up the exhaust. So the exhaust burned as well for Flying Jew. So no exhaust down in the bot lane, but more importantly, no flash there for Veritas. He does still have the rocket jump, but if he does use it incorrectly, like what we saw before, he's not going to have any way of getting out of the fight.
Yeah, very risky, and that was the play that Veritas' flash here, and it's still available for Denny and Flying Juice, so be that as it may, you know, Avant-Garde is still looking strong in that lane. I just feel like Denny and Flying Juice have a bit more freedom here. They can, it's maybe going to be more forgiving for them if they make a mistake in position now, and CS is in favour of Veritas, and there's a bit for Denny to catch up on here. I don't know, we're kind of, you know, zoning in here a little bit on the mid lane, on the bot lane, should I say. One place where I'm looking for things to start happening. We can see already Jack in the Box is maybe turning the tables on last game's performance and getting that 7 CS lead already. Actually has the Crystalline Flask in this lane as well, interestingly enough. So no sort of Doran's Blade or Shield here. The Shield being picked up for Porky.
Yeah, we should really look for some action in that top lane. Guo, that Lee Sin going to be able to do a ton of damage to Porky. And of course, Jack in the Box, I believe that's Jack Attack, has also got quite a decent damage on Porky. Of course, the hidden style doing the true damage, which is going to, you know, mitigate the resistances that Porky has probably got with his runes.
Okay. So we do have a reconnect here. Haven't quite got off the pause training, but we expect that fairly often. It's Oceanic League of Legends, so we're okay with that. We're all kind of used to it. Of course, guys, this is the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships. We are looking directly ahead, of course, to the rest of the season, and the finale going to be happening at the CGPL Finals, which is just going to be a lot of fun, and definitely think about getting down there. I don't know if the place have been mentioned yet. I don't know if we've announced where it's going to be. Elfish Guy, can we say?
I am not 100% sure. I'm sure if Sandman is listening, he'll put it down into the chat somewhere.
Regardless.
It's going to be somewhere down in the southern states somewhere. Not going to be up here in Brisbane, unfortunately.
Surprisingly enough, not Adelaide either, but that's okay. Now, Danny and Veritas trying to trade it. Yeah, did go a little bit low. Good play, though, back from Flying Duke here. He might try and follow that up with a hook, but I don't think he connects it. And a little bit of a stoush there in the bot lane. Denny going fairly low to that one. Flying Duke, I like the way he recovered from that one. And again, it's going to be both teams backing off to try and farm it up. Jack in the Box going aggressive in towards Porky, just coming into that lane from interesting angles there with that Blade Surge. And I don't really think he wants to get caught in that Burning Agony for too long, though.
No, he did take quite a bit of damage there, down to half HP already, so a little bit of a bad trade for him up in the top lane. He does have a fair bit of sustain. He's got the Flask, of course, also got some health potions, and also the basic attack's going to restore health with that hidden style. So probably will be able to sustain himself back up there pretty easily.
No doubt. I really does that very, very nicely there. And his CS. Well, it's a lot of damage for that Burning Agony, but at least he can trade it back there. Mid lane's been fairly quiet, but we do see Yozora making a push here for it as well with Cocoon. No, be a flash before the Cocoon. That's not a good gold card to follow up after that one as well. First blood going towards Kenzie. I think it was actually the other order there, but nonetheless, Death Sentence towards Nada here. She's caught. We saw Veritas get the heck out of dodge instantly, but good bubble on towards Guo. Nonetheless, Veritas won't be able to save Nada. He will drop down, and now Jack in the Box trading again with Porky. Good play backwards from Flying Dew. And top lane is where it's at. The flash coming out from Jack in the Box as well. So Porky weathering the storm early on there to get a winning trade against Jack in the Box and forcing that flash out.
Yeah, a little bit of a crazy couple of minutes there after that pause where you saw the kill going into the mid lane and down in the bot lane as well. So even in terms of kills now, again, one going over to the AD carry and one going over to the mid laner. So, you know, you can't really draw too many conclusions from that so far, but nice little bit of gold in the bank for both those guys. Should help them out in their lanes a little bit. You can see, you know, Little Kitty Cheese has picked that Ignite over, you know, something more defensive like a heal or a barrier. So that means he does want to win the lane, but at the moment, he's really having a little bit of a difficulty. He's down a kill already because of that gank, and also down a little bit of CS too. So I might need to try and turn things around.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, Little Kitty Cheese, some people might say that was a preemptive flash, maybe a little bit too early, but really it's a gold card and a Cocoon that you're worrying about, so it's not a lot of counterplay around that kind of gate there, so not much that really could be done, and fair enough, really. We can see Denny now trading nicely with Veritas here and getting caught. Veritas obviously inside the Caustic Spittle there. Should I say? Oh, sorry, it is Caustic Spittle, isn't it? Am I losing my mind? I don't know. Anyway.
Caustic Spittle is the Q.
Okay, no worries. He'll play back towards Nada there as well. The flash coming out. Got to hit onto Flame Dew and Guo. Oh, the jump forward is a good one. Guo manages to get in there as well. This is what we wanted to see from him. This is what we were missing last game. That's his second kill involvement there. 2 assists for him, giving kills over the second to Denny.
Yeah, but things up in the top lane probably need to be looked at. You can see Jack in the Box getting a little bit of the CS advantage. Teleport coming in.
Oh wow, here we go. We can see Jack in the Box is going to get a lot of damage coming towards it. Burning Agony, will it tick enough? Tower damage coming in. Great jump from Jack in the Box. Yes, the tower hit. Almost pick up Porky. That's devastating. That was so close. Just enough regen from Satters in there to keep him alive. Porky going to try and shove that one out. We saw Guo making his way towards that mid lane there as well. What a messy little passage of play there, but Jack in the Box going to drop down. Clever, though, the way he went towards Porky, but Mundo's going to Mundo.
Yeah, Porky really did need gank because you could see he was falling a little bit behind in CS, and you know, he was kind of doing well in trades against Jack in the Box, but if you are losing down in that CS on Mundo, you're not having a time. Obviously, he can go a little bit down on CS and still viable into the late game, but that's still going to really turn things around maybe for him, make things a little bit easier for him in the top lane.
Well, we haven't seen too many dives onto Warsby, so I mean, he's got that working in his favour. He hasn't really been too bothered in that top lane at all. Guo looking more towards making opportunities happen in the bottom lane, recognising and identifying that Denny is going to be such a crucial part of the team, of course. We'll state the obvious there, of course, but they sort of move through this game now, and we can see the CS lead slightly in favour of Denny here. Mistook from Flying G. This might hurt them a little bit here. Good trading coming in as well. Good heal out from Nada. Denny still going to try and hang around and actually just do some CSing while Flying G takes a bit of damage. Here we go, though. Level 6 for Denny, already getting right into it.
Yeah, and I guess if you Cogmore, you know, that's really the lane that you want to be snowballing, because the Cogmore that's fed is going to absolutely murder anybody, even Mundo. So if they can get Denny in maybe another 2 kills, he's going to be pretty much unstoppable.
Well, Flying G wants to get just that exactly. I think he's going to hook. He's going to go towards Veritas there. Be a flay. Yes, the rocket jump, though, will still get Veritas out of that one, but only just now. We can see Denny opting to put some damage on towards Nada as well. Surely going to force that bot lane back, and this is where Cogmore starts to hurt. Buster Shot is great in a pinch, but doesn't help with extended periods of trading, and that's where Denny has that distinct advantage.
Yeah, the ultimate out from Cogmore, Living Artillery, gonna really make sieging pretty easy for him. But we can see Zora heading down to the bot lane here. Dragon is warded, so they are aware of that. And top lane, a little bit of a trade going down too. Porky getting out-traded a tiny bit, but he does still have that ulti sadism, so he should be fine.
Jack in the Box sustaining nicely through this one as well. We're just inching ahead a little bit further in terms of CS. We can see the sheen on that Irelia as well, just adding a little bit more punch with that auto attack proc. We can see, yeah, Zora hanging around bottom here. Not really many, opportunities to be made here. That being said, at least can pull off a decent lane gank. So maybe that's what she's waiting for. Maybe a counter gank here, but Guo is far from there. Oh, here we go. It's coming in from Kensti. He's going to land a gold card immediately. Denny catches the Dark Passage trade out. Good play as well to try and keep Kensti back. Gold card goes towards Flying. Just going to be followed up with an Aqua Prison though. Oh, he almost got out, but Buster Shot did its job picking up that kill. The kill actually went over to Yozora in the end there. The rotate down for Little Cutie Cheese is real. We can see Jack in the Box forcing Porky away from that lane. He won't be able to teleport down very easily at all. Jack in the Box obviously going to have a little bit more freedom to do so, but Porky getting healthy very quickly. Dragon to be started off here by Avant-Garde.
That was some pretty disgusting CC lock out there from AV. It was a gold card into teleport now coming out, actually. Might as well talk about that later.
Right into the middle. Brazen is brass by Jack in the Box coming forward. Kensti is going to try and deal with that one. The gold card is locked away, and Guo going to get caught up in that one. The shockwave going only on to Yozora here. Guo was still alive. I don't even know how Nana picked that one up, but Yozora will finally drop 2 for 1 thus far. Little Cutie Cheese is in deep trouble here. See, he's going to go for that one, I think, as well. He will pick that one up. Yozora did die on the periphery, but after that fight, a very convincing win there for Avant-Garde at 4 for 1, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what happened to Denny, but he was not in that fight.
Yeah, and the Dragon going to now go over to AV as well, so a little bit of a repeat of last game. AV just getting ahead in the early game. We'll see if YSSC are able to pull it back into the late game, because they do have that Cogmore, which can scale. They are, though, up against Veritas on the Tristana, so a lot to worry about. And Kensti doing a really good job there with the roaming on that Twisted Fate. Every time I think that he's gone into a lane, he's been able to pick up a kill. So that's what you want to be doing on Twisted Fate.
It was quite a big extension of Kensti into that bot lane to try and set that gank up right in there. And Yozora struggled to catch up. Eventually got there though. Enough CC on the side of Avant-Garde to make that happen. What I find strange though was the brazenness of that teleporting from Jack in the Box immediately into that Dragon Pit. and just hoped that the rest of YSSC would be there, and they kind of weren't really. Now, Jack in the Box and Yozora fighting it out here. Jack in the Box wants to end this one, I think. Will there be a Blaze Surge available? Guo has made his way up as well. Yozora will drop quite quickly. The execute from Lee Sim Strong. Good flank back though. A rocket jump will get Veritas out of trouble in that bot lane, but now Nada doesn't really have that available to her. Living Artillery, he's going to have to be flashing away from that one now. Veritas popping heal just to try and keep that Nami alive.
Yeah, so a little bit of turnaround going there for YSSC. You can see, you know, the top lane probably best lane. Oh, actually, Denny doing all right. Here comes the gank again.
Oh.
The
picking that one up. Kathy, it's probably enough to claim Nada here, but it will do a bit of damage. Flying Jew got to get caught there as well. Just nothing you can do about it. It's that easy. Press R, teleport bot, lock gold card and get it done. Kenzie showing us exactly how you play that roaming TF now. 5-0-3. Interestingly enough, he picked up that Athene's Unholy Grail. Didn't even bother with the Lichbane, and he's still putting out so much damage. 5 kills on him.
Yeah, there really needs to be some wards down now around mid from YSSC so that they can tell when he is heading towards the bot lane or the top lane, looking for a gank. You can see that one there near the dragon, but it needs to kind of be more in that bush just above Twisted Fate, because that's really where he's been teleporting from. And that ward obviously not going to be able to spot them out there. So, wards need to come out around that middle.
A little bit more vision is what the Dr. Wellfish ordered now. Jack in the Box and Porky return to the laning phase. Well, something similar to it anyway. Jack in the Box seems to be a lot more comfortable now. That Triforce rushed. No boots yet on that Irelia. Comfortable enough with that Triforce for the damage. And he's looking pretty strong. He doesn't have that Satims available to him now, so he doesn't have the regen. But look at this. Zora's got in there. Jack in the Box realized his mistake a little bit too late. I mean, there's no wards there. I had no idea what the idea was at all from Jack in the Box. The only ward he had close by was in sort of his own bush back down there near his tower. So, don't know about that one. It was probably going to be a tower going towards Avant-Garde. They're second of the game. None yet on the board at all for YSSC. Guo getting caught there by Yozora. Can do a little bit of damage back. Does have that tower to help him out there. Cleaver going to go for it as well. And that will be a deadly sin. Kenzie getting caught in the mid lane. We're going to see the Lantern now. Little Cutie Cheese coming in. This is going to be a very aggressive fight here. Shockwave not doing probably as much damage as they'd like. Oh, the double bubble, but still, we will see Kenzie drop. Blind G got to survive that one. Little Cutie Cheese. Don't really see an Oriana rushing forward on that dark passage to get in and do the damage, but I guess it kind of worked.
Yeah, it did, and going to be a nice pick up there for Little Cutie Cheese, managing to get himself an extra 500 gold because that was a shutdown. Kenzie was 5-0 at that point, so we'll be happy with that. Gonna probably put that into or he's gonna die.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's not much you can really do about that one, unfortunately. And Veritas is getting strong. BF Sword and Zeal in the pocket. Pack speed boots to follow as well. Guo looking for something on towards Nada there, but the Fishy is quite happy just to throw some wards down there. And that line, the battle line, the no man's land is really being pushed up here by Avant-Garde. They're really, now with those towers starting to fall in the top lane, they are wanting to come on, and Veritas now wants another objective. This is the time they decide to make it happen. Kenzie coming in for that one as well. The gold card is going to get onto Guo, but from a long way away, it's going to be a flame back in towards the tower. Kenzie copying a lot of damage. The box is coming down as well, but Kenzie still healthy enough. Only took that one hit from the tower. Everyone going to back away, but Kenzie is chomping at the bit to create these opportunities with that Destiny Gate.
Yeah, I think AV really sort of want to force some objectives here. The Dragon going to be up in a minute 30. And, of course, mid lane, probably the other objective that they really want at this stage. But YSSC just hanging on at the moment. You feel if one of these objectives go in the favor of AV and a sort of strong team fight, this will really snowball the game away from YSSC.
I mean, they're already down a fair bit of gold, to be honest. It's not as messy as last game, but it's started to come close, if I'm honest. And Porky kind of getting caught red-handed there, trying to take that tower sneakily. And to back away from that one. What I'm more interested in is Veritas coming forward here. Just almost eating a free living artillery there. Good Aqua Prison to stop Little Cutie Cheese coming forward on that one. And you can see that, the Bull Terriers of YSSC are trying to fight Avant-Garde out of their territory here, but it feels inexorable. It feels like it's just a matter of time. Avant-Garde are just accruing little victories all over the map, and they're starting to add up to some big dollars.
This mid tower being pressured a little bit by YSSC. AV not really in a good position to defend it, but YSSC going back anyway. Dragon up in 30 seconds, so Porky here as well going to be in trouble.
Porky getting away here with that sadism. It probably will be enough, if I'm honest, to get him out of trouble, unless he hits a Sonic Wave. Very handy ult there. Mundo getting hard to kill. We can see Veritas going forward. Yozora going to eat the hook that was probably intended for Tristana there. but a Cocoon to follow up, and she's going to be okay throwing the Voltal Spiraling under. Wow, goes postal there with that resonating strike and really trying to mess with Porky here. Porky does not have that ultimate available, but the Sonic Wave misses. And what would have been a kill now turns into a Fling Mundo. Living Artillery coming down here near that red buff area. YSSC, yeah, fiercely defending their territory here. Dragon is up, and that's what Avant-Garde want to start now as well. YSSC, none the wiser in terms of what wards they have over there. I'm pretty sure they can guess they're going to trade the mid tower for the Dragon.
Big fight here coming out between Veritas and Denian.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that. My landline, when it rings, it cuts me out, unfortunately. There we go. The tidal wave being used to try and pick up Flying Jewel as well. And I could get that fixed. That's really annoying me. Anyway, now 4 people from Avant-Garde position around that middle lane here. And Denian going to get away with that 1v1 trade there. So, I don't know, Cogmore with Triforce, scary as can be. So 4 members are still up for Avant-Garde, though. They're definitely eyeing off this tower. Little Cutie Cheese has some own potential with the ball. Doesn't want to eat a Cocoon, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, so AV slowly pushing down this mid tower. And every bit of damage counts. We could see it's just down to about a third now. So when they get that, the floodgates are going to open. They're going to have access to really all of YSSC's jungle. And going to be able to do that little Fnatic strategy that we saw last game as well, where they popped 5 wards all down in the one sort of area of the jungle to try and catch someone out.
A lot of vision there as well, and we can see, YSSC probably doing a little bit better. What they struggled with last game was that keeping their jungle sort of under their own control. And to speak of that, Little Cutie Cheese does take away his own blue. Definitely going to need that one. It's Orianna slowly getting to that very, very scary point. The Chalice, the Athena's on Holy Grail, being joined there. Oh, wow, look at the damage coming out here as well. Denian wants to come forward. The flash forward, he's actually got less health than Veritas. It's all about hitting that Living Artillery. Denian just gets there. Only just, though. And it's surprising, actually. He actually missed a couple of Living Artillery shots there, but Veritas is not yet there in terms of his Tristana and how she ramps up there. So another kill into the pocket for Denian. Another 1v1 won by the Cogmore.
Yeah, Veritas trying to 1v1 Denian twice in a row now and losing, so probably not going to make that same mistake again, you would expect. I think, really, he probably could have won that last fight if he hadn't cancelled so many autos. You could see him cancel a couple there, and Denian was able to get the upper hand very slightly because of that little bit of lifesteal that he had.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Buster shot might have been better saved if there was a necessary disengage there, but nonetheless, it was flashed by Denian, so he definitely wanted that kill. And now, almost 20 minutes into the game now, about to hit that mark, and it's about, it's about a 7k gold lead, if I'm honest here, almost 8k going over, of course, to Avant-Garde. And YSSC, still fighting quite hard despite the fact. But, it just makes me wonder what happens when they go for a proper 5-on-5 where people aren't getting caught out when it comes to that, quintessential confrontation. Will YSSC be able to stand up? We know that Denian can do it. We know he can 1v1 at least Veritas at this stage. So that is a good sign if you're a fan of YSSC. And Jack in the Pox and Porky just going to cross paths. Quick high five there and back on their way. Most of the attention being focused over towards the mid lane here as well. And a little bit further towards bot. Veritas now. Definitely get a bit of BM out of there in the mid lane as well towards Flying Juice. So 4 members here from YSSC. They're congregating around this red buff, so you can really see they're making big investments in terms of champion position to secure those buffs in their own jungle.
It will be interesting to see how it pans out because Little Cutie Cheese with that Orianna, he's been pretty quiet this game, but he's going to have a lot bigger impact in the team fights than he had in lane, you would expect. And Kenzie as well, he's had a lot of strong roams, but is he going to be as effective as Little Cutie Cheese in the team fights?
The reality is that Little Cutie Cheese hasn't benefited from Kenzie's absences from lane like he maybe would have liked. I mean, yeah, the mid tower's down, but still behind in CS to a TF that's been roaming. You can't really afford for that to happen. So it's going to be a little while before the Orianna gets strong. Here we go. Speaking of TF, we see the Buster shot for Veritas coming and actually knocking Little Cutie Cheese away from the gank that Kenzie had actually set up there. Bit of miscommunication, but Avant-Garde can afford these errors at this stage. Now they're going to look towards this top inner turret here. All 5 of them are in position here, so it's going to take a lot for YSSC to defend this one if they want to. Oh, the flash forward comes in. Flyju is in the mix. Fair still going towards Jack in the Pox. We can see a lot of damage. Good little shockwave as well. Little Cutie Cheese free to do damage from the sides. The flash forward as well. Jack in the Box comes forward. Gets stunned up by a yellow card though. Flyju got to land a massive hook onto Kenzie. Flake it back. Force the Zonyas. And I think TF, oh, that's tricky. The old look away. Throw down the arcane, so the Living Artillery, should I say. It's kind of like that kind of guy we all know that guy that there would be an explosion and he'd just walk away from it and look back. That was Danian right there.
Well,
Very
that's you,
cheaply
isn't
played.
it?
I don't know if you want to ascribe that to me, then I humbly accept. But now Danian and Jack at the Pox looking towards top here. So it's safe to say that was a victorious fight from YSSC. Gold lead, not indicative of their ability to team fight. It was a beautiful flash forward from Flying Dew to set that up.
Yeah, YSSC really capitalizing on a mistake there from AV. I think AV probably were in two minds. Do we get this tower or do we back off a little bit and try to siege it down? So I think half the team was trying to put damage on the tower. Certainly Kensti was moving forwards to put an auto attack onto the tower and get caught out from that. So YSSC taking advantage of that little bit of a miscommunication, I guess, from AV and getting that team fight win, which is nice for them, but they are still close to 7k gold behind and Dragon to me up in 40 seconds as well, which you would expect AV know about and are going to be looking for.
Yeah, it wasn't Avant's first blunder in that 5-minute period either. I mean, we saw Veritas sort of taking the kill away from Kensti by knocking Little Cutie Cheese away with the Buster Shot. I don't want to dwell on it, but Avantgarde just got to shore up their communication a little bit because this is a team in YSSC that can bring back these kind of games, and they will, especially if you give them an inch, they're going to take them off. Flying Jew will make those engagements. He will find openings, and it's scary having an Irelia run in your face like that. And Avantgarde, they may be, fairly fed, but they're not overly tanky. It's really just Mundo at the moment, and he is getting there. But Avantgarde can't really risk too many more mistakes. They're going to start let the gold leak back in favour for YSSC.
Yeah, Yuzora also getting a little bit. He's got the Giant's Belt. That's probably going to be going to a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. So after that, probably going to look for some more tanky. But that teleport coming out here from Porky.
Yeah, probably just... actually, no. I don't even know why that was done, but it was maybe just at least get him there, I suppose. Maybe another wood wasn't available, but now a red dragon being started off here by Avantgarde. Porky getting kind of caught here. Shockwave only really went over to Yozora there as well. Tidal Wave comes down as well. Yozora gonna have to flash away from the ball. Was worried about a Shockwave. Maybe he had missed the fact that Little Cutie Cheese had used it. So Dragon getting picked up. I think actually went over towards YSSC there as well. So pretty much achieved what they came there to do. Get that extra gold back in their pockets to start to inch a little bit closer here to Avantgarde.
And this mid tower, again, going to be the objective of choice for AV. They really do want to get it down. It has been up 25 minutes since the start of the game, pretty much. And, if they can manage to get this down, I really think that they can get a lot of control of that jungle.
All right, well, it's a bit of a siege time right now. We're seeing cleavers. We're seeing volatile spiderlings coming out as well. Even an aqua prison to follow. Anything Avantgarde can use to try and open things up here. They want this tower, they want to start that momentum back in their favour as well. Kensti split pushing nicely towards bot there, and he does take that tower, so almost makes it worth Avantgarde congregating in mid for so long. And now a rotation perhaps towards the blue here, or an attempt to dive onto mid. We can see Kensti slightly caught out here. Really wants to go in here. Does she have the stun? Not quite. The ghost being used by Kensti to try and get away those. Well, Hook to follow up. Blind Jew doesn't miss those ones, and Kensti will get caught out of position now. 4 members from Avantgarde. Concerned about Baron? Not sure why. No, they need to watch the mid lane right now because YSSC again, get a pick, take an objective. That's how they're going to try and have to work it here. And it seems like they have the same idea.
Yeah, AV kind of just don't know what they're doing really. They're just getting caught out a little bit, and they do have a great advantage, but looks like they're just losing the plot a little bit.
Oh, nice shockwave there as well behind the tower. And the Porky, the only one really caught forward, he's going to get flayed back. He's going to have to flash that. He doesn't have his ultimate available. And you've got to be careful with positioning, especially if you don't realize you have that sadism up. Another tower for YSSC. Gold inches a little bit closer every time that happens, but they still got a bit of work to do. Nonetheless, they're starting to hit some power spikes here. Of course, we know Daniel has got his Blade of the Ruined King and his Triforce. It's a Triforce for Jack in the Box, followed up by a Spectre's Cowl as well. Little Cutie Cheese has the Death Cap, and we can see those shockwaves, Elfish, are starting to hurt.
Yeah, they've been pretty decent shockwaves as well, and Veritas taking nearly all of his HP off that shockwave in the last fight at that tower there we saw. So does need to watch his positioning a little bit. Little Cutie Cheese doing a nice work, even though he is a little bit behind. And Kensti caught again.
Yet again, he can back away, but at the cost of his flash again. Oh, Denian! What's some of this on his bait was pretty strong there. Denian still should be able to get away. The rend damage probably won't take him out. Jack in the Box will still make Kensti pay for his mistake. Another 5v4. What can YSSC do here? Probably not a great deal, given that Denian is a bit low on health, but that's what they've got to do. What's happening here with Avantgarde?
Yeah, Kensti just being caught out a few too many times. We saw him get caught out before, and just then as well. So no flash available to him now either. So he does really need to watch his positioning. either that or his team just needs to be there with him and fight if he does get caught. So I don't know what the solution really is, but it really comes down to Kenzie is getting caught too much and needs to sort of work on it.
Okay, well, despite that, he still has a fair bit of gold under his belt. Does have the Lich Bane now, so we know when he gets in and gets it done, he's going to be hurting. Oh, where the shockwave just for Nada as well. The kickback as well. Little Kitty's trying to get the damage down a little bit low on mana. Kenzie wants to come into this one. Porky is going to get caught. It was actually Guo that dropped there. This is not looking good for YSSC. Potentially a throw. Danny going to drop down. That's 2 of them down already. Jack Fox wants Kenzie, but he's got more members of AV to deal with there. That's going to be a double kill for Yozora now. A 3-for-none fight. Mispositioning there, or maybe Guo just underestimating the strength of Avant-Garde's position there, but it was a shockwave and a kick just for Nada, and they had nothing to follow up when Avant came to fight, and that is a Baron.
Yeah, they didn't actually have a ward in that rage, so they didn't know that Porky was sitting there. They thought they had picked off Nada on his own, and unfortunately for them, that wasn't the case. Kenzie had also just respawned, was able to teleport into the fight at full HP and make use of all that gold that we had, that we spoke about, that he has.
I understand that YSSC might not be aware of to what degree they are behind in terms of gold, but that was some wishful thinking, to say the very least. They extended so far for such a minute opportunity that we're getting picks given to them. They tried to overextend for one, and it just got completely crushed. 11 to 17 kills us. So yeah, looking at that, it's not a big deal, but it's now a 10k gold lead to Avant-Garde. They have Baron, and now YSSC, they've got to be defensive here. They cannot risk to do that again.
Uh-oh.
Well, dear, gold card tools flying due there. We do see the Sonic Wave coming out. And YSSC going to be able to get away with that one. They're still pushing mid, though. They know they've got Avant-Garde caught out here. But what are they going to get? An inhibitor turret? Maybe. If Avant want to collapse on them properly. And yeah, I think they realize it. It's YSSC now walk straight back down that lane. Maybe rethink their approach here, because we do see Avant-Garde are all grouped up. They are all baroned up. And I think, I think YSSC knew that. They knew they didn't want to go for that. Oh, Kenzie, though, looking for Flying Jew. Gold card coming, the teleport as well from Porky. This could be good. Porky comes straight in. They're just going to try and jump off Flying Jew, if I'm not mistaken. Porky coming towards Jack in the Box, but it will be a dissonance to get Aurelia out of there. Still a pick, still an easy pick, essentially. Although Destiny and Teleport were used for it, now Avant have the 5v4. They have the Baron. They have the momentum.
And Nada getting caught out a little bit here, though.
Again, another extension for that Nami. Is it worth it, though? Akon Prisoner got a just miss, but Katas now free to turn around and try and do some more damage towards Jack in the Pox. Avant-Garde, I don't know. They're still looking okay. I mean, yes, it's all well and good to try and, get onto their support and take her out. But it's not like she's going to be able to use that tidal wave in the next fight. It's not available right now. Big extension for maybe some less than Brody targets here.
And the shockwave not available here for Cutie Cheese, and Zora pushing this top lane. So a pretty good result in the end for AV. Zora probably going to get caught out here, though.
Oh, nice cocoon there. Guo can't follow up yet. The Resonating Strike will come in. The flash from Yozora is going to get slowed up by the Void Ooze, should I say. But there's a kill for Little Cutie Cheese. That being said, mid-inner turret crumbles. So now another turret. It's 6-3 for Avant-Garde, and they're creating opportunities over the map. Yozora managed to take Guo down with him, and it's a dragon now for Avant-Garde. There's nothing YSSC can do.
Yeah, Avant pretty pleased, I guess, with that. If when you get caught out, you'd be happy with a 1-for-1 trade. So Yozora getting that one on the lease in, sort of negating really any sort of advantage that they would have got off that pick. So AV now just going back a little bit, going to be picking up some new items. They've got a fair bit of gold in the bank, especially Twisted Fate sitting on 2.5k gold. That's probably going to go into All-Star. We'll see what he decides to pick up. And did he just pick up the Rabadons? Yes, I completely missed that. Rabadon's going to be the pick up there for Twisted Fate.
Okay, so he obviously has that one now. And I mean, SSC had the window. That momentum starting to swing in their favor. One misstep. That's what happens when you're behind. You stuff up once, and yeah, you're probably going to get even further behind now. Avant-Garde have the power play right now. Baron is still on them for a little while at least, and they're going to look to take some more objectives for it. Pings towards the blue buff here of YSSC. Continuing now, this is what they want to do. This is what they did last game. They walk into the jungle, they take objectives. Now, blue not available for them, but they'll still set up camp in terms of wards. Their vision being spread bit by bit through YSSC's territory.
Yeah, YSSC hanging around a little bit in this jungle. There's not really anything for them to here, so I'm not sure why they're spending so much time in there. The Baron also not going to be up for a little while either, so And not
Gotta
much
wait for the
point.
waves.
Too many wards down there. Like Kensti going to be sitting up there now in the top lane, so it's a 4-1 for them, and also a 4-1 split here for YSSC. They've got Jack in the Box down in the bot lane, has teleport available, so both these split lanes able to get to the fight should it break out in a pretty quick time. But Veritas going to try and catch out Jack in the Box. Dark Passage not going to be used by Jack in the Box to get out there pretty safely. Veritas not going to have any luck there.
No, but nonetheless, the pressure is still being applied. The clamp closing that little bit tighter, and the war of attrition has surely begun here. And Avant-Garde just knocking on each and every door of YSSC's base here. You can see Kensi just doing a bit of house cleaning there as well. Veritas managing to avoid the wishful death sentence coming out from Flying Dew there. Speculative death sentence, I'll say. Veritas looking at this as an opportunity now to do some damage with that Tide Caller's Blessing as well. So you've got to be pretty annoyed to deal with Flying Dew. Super low, that Buster Shot might not be enough, but the Rend will do a bit of damage as he does head back towards the pavilion. And 2 minutes left before Baron comes up. Guo wants to try and fight this, maybe. Denning comes forward, almost too far forward.
Still again, all these lanes pushing into Baron, also now going to be up 1 minute 45 seconds. And Guo going a little bit too far forward, being punished quite hard by Veritas. A lot of damage coming out from him. 3 items Tristan, that's really where you want to hit. Denian in trouble.
Yeah, Denning gonna have to flash that one away. Oh, wow, Veritas knew how badly he needed that one. Go towards Guo as well. And Cathy, surprise. Yes, it will be enough to take it down. A 2v2 all over the map. Double kill there, of course, for Veritas. And now Porky still trying to keep Little Cutie Cheese and, of course, Jack in the Box occupied. Flying Dew gonna drop down around his neck. No, YSSC are split all over their own base. They're not able to get there and help Nada. Gonna try and help Yozori. Getting caught out. I don't know if he expected Little Cutie Cheese to be there. Nada can't flash either. Last man standing, Porky. And Avant-Garde had position there. They just didn't link up and tried to fight some weird little 1v1s now. Porky trying to do as much damage as he can to the inhibitor before he goes away. He's going to get Equilibrium Strike, a bit of damage as well. Little Cutie Cheese following up. He's going to have the distance available. It's going to be tough for that Mundo to get away. The flash at the last second. That's classy. But Jack in the Box, he's a little bit cleverer than that. He follows up with his own and the dissonance to boost him up.
Yeah, it might have been an idea for him to try and get that in here, but I don't think maybe he would have been able to get it. Nonetheless, it didn't go down, and he did go down as well. So not a happy trade at all for AV. I thought they were in a little bit of a good position there with Veritas doing quite a lot of damage to Denian, but I think he went a little bit too ham there, diving onto that tower. Obviously did get the reset on the rocket jump, but wasn't able to get out in time as well. So AV probably not too happy with the end result of those fairly prolonged team fights. And they're going to be now grouping up a little bit, picking up that blue buff on the Twisted Fate and probably heading down into that top lane to try and pick up that inhibitor, which has been exposed as a result of those fights. Oh, of course, Baron as well.
Oh, the rocket jump away from the shockwave. Now no longer available for Little Cutie Cheese. Kensti to respond with some of his own trickery. But it looked like the Dark Passage, again, being enough there to get Little Cutie Cheese out. But it is Baron. And that's what Avant-Garde are looking at right now. And that play before was weird and wacky and not maybe as wonderful as I would have liked it to be, but they are still well and truly ahead here. No shockwave available. That's what Avant-Garde have to be saying to each other right now. Little Cutie Cheese's capacity to impact these team fights is going to be limited severely. And yet, YSSC managing to push Avant-Garde away for now. And that is because, of course, Veritas sitting up near the Wraith push. And, of course, Porky doing his thing, pushing in on that mid lane. We might see an attempt to collapse on that Mundo now, but he's pretty quick. He's going to be able to get away. And it's a matter of cat and mouse here. YSSC just trying to keep their bases covered and try to keep that Baron from being taken out from under their nose.
Well, Jack in the Box going fairly aggressive against Yuzora.
Got to eat the cocoon there as well. And Flying Dew eats an Aqua Prison. Teleport again. It's all about the TPs, ladies and gentlemen. Kensi going to try and find that gold card and just lock on Flying Dew. That was not worth it at all. He's going to have to use that Zonius. Will it be enough? Porky is in the mix now, but Flying Dew will pick that one up. Denny out towards the side with no health. He can't impact this one. Shockwave was up though. And now Porky going to have to back away. Jack in the Box still looking good. Little Cutie Cheese strong as well. But Yozora is coming forward. Porky wants some of this one as well. Cocoon does hit. Oh, the humanity. That was 2 down very, very quickly by YSSC as well. Oriana and of course Denny on that Cogmore drop. Jack in the Box is not far from his own demise either. Cocoon won't make its mark. Can Nada speed up Yozora? That is the idea, at least. Jack in the Box, copy a bit of minion aggro here. The dream, will it be real? Will Jack in the Box be able to get away? 100 health, there's a sweeper in the bush. Can he get cute here? He's at least going to keep Avant-Garde busy for a little while, but Porky's still doing work on that inhibitor. Jack in the Box will be able to 1v1 Nada, maybe? Oh, please, Nami, please, no. No, it's going to be, we're going to see Yozora come in as well. So, bit of a hold up there, I think. And they definitely wanted that kill. Porky just trying to work on this inhibitor right now.
Yeah, definitely worthwhile for Jack in the Box to kind of kite around there. It's going to mean Porky is going to have to sacrifice himself for that inhibitor, when really they could have just 3-manned the inhibitor pretty quickly, and Porky probably would have been able to escape. He may still yet escape with that sadism ticking, actually. Going to get away where thought he might go down. But regardless, Baron now be the target here for AV, and it looks like they're going to pick that up pretty safely as well. Now that they have that inhibitor and Baron, they are going to be a very difficult force to be reckoned with. And Porky, especially the one which we probably should talk about. He's kind of hit that point where on Mundo you cannot be killed because you're just that big.
Absolutely. Randuin's besides Sunfire Cape. Now a Thornmail into the mix. He is very, very tanky, and I think that's really the Fat Lady's first few bars for YSSC, if I'm honest. Veritas going to solo that Dragon and pick that one up quite easily. Gold is just hugely in favor of Avant-Garde. Now about 18 to 19k here, plus Baron on the top, and that's a virtual 3 to 6k gold, depending on what stage of the game it is. So, yeah, on paper, it's all about Avant-Garde right now, and you can see how much Porky valued that inhibitor, where he stayed, at risk of potentially dying. He got fairly close just to try and get rid of it. He ignored YSSC trying to beat on him now. It's going to be an important power play having that top inhibitor down. AV still looking for a real opening to end the game. Nothing for them yet, but surely you've got to be thinking, Elfish Guy, it's over the horizon.
Yeah, they do not have particularly fantastic siege. Orion are able to clear the waves pretty well. And of course, Denian as well on Cogmore got quite a bit of wave clear as well. So they're not going to have the easiest time getting these turrets down. That top lane, as you say, going to help them out with that inhibitor being down, but it's still quite a way off that wave. Another probably 30 or 40 seconds before it actually is going to get to the base, and then it's going to have to clear out those creeps as well. So they're going to be waiting a little while here, and there's a 3-2 split so far for them. If you're looking for them to actually group up here, I don't think it's the greatest idea for them to split at the moment, but they're just trying to push these waves in and put a little bit more pressure onto YSSC so that they can put some damage onto those turrets.
Well, Kenster eats the hook, and Flying Jew wants some of that as well. Kenster goes very, very low, but the box used to no avail. Kenster getting on out of that one. That being said, no flash value form. Big shockwave coming out of Little Cutie Cheese there, just as he dropped. It's not going to be enough really at this stage. Uzora getting hooked up as well. Everyone looking at Porky, but probably the wrong person to be looking at there. Uzora had a Zonia's in his pocket. Who would have thought? Veritas picks that one up, and Captain Surprise probably won't matter at this point. Jack in the Box is going to die at the steps of his own fountain there. Veritas wants a piece of it there, and he's... Well, let's be honest, no one can really handle the fountain, even fed Tristana there. So that will probably be about that. After 40 minutes, 50 kills, a huge gold lead at the end of that one. And Avant-Garde knew they could just waltz in and take that one. That is 2-0 to Avant-Garde. And YSSC getting dubsted a little bit there in that first game. I like the way they brought it back in the second, but really, it just got out of their hands again in a similar fashion.
Yeah, really nice job from AV. I believe that's their first game or first official game under the AV tag, so they'll be pretty happy with that to go 2-0 in the best of 3 series. So they've taken that victory against YSSC. We'll see what that puts them at. Going to put them at 2 wins and 1 loss, the Cyber Gamer ladder. And of course, yourself, Chalfa, not sitting pretty on 0 wins and 3 losses. So they're going to be looking to turn their season around a little bit in the next few games. But if they're not going to be able to do that, they're going to have quite a bit of trouble in the future.
Well, they've definitely got to go back to the drawing board a little bit and think about how they're transitioning into the later stage of the game. We saw some flashes of brilliance there from Denian, and that was absolutely a pleasure. But my God, Avant-Garde, very, very strong in that game, and congratulations to them. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, as well. I know, we had a quiet last week in terms of bringing you some casts, and it is great to be back. And a massive thanks to our CGPL sponsors as well, Logitech, AMD, N-Wave, Netgear, BenQ, and MSI. Massive shout out, of course, to Cyanide Steve for providing a fantastic stream as of always. But any closing words, Elfish, before we head out for the night?
No, nothing too crazy for me. Just, yeah, again, shout out to sponsors and thanks for sponsoring the league, of course. Those guys of you who were interested in the live finals, I believe that might be coming up at the end of September. That's what these guys are really playing for, sort of a spot there and the seedings and that sort of thing, and they win a fair bit of money coming out from that. Of course, also get a few sort of peripherals for the lower brackets. You know, the Cyber Gamer Amateur and the Cyber Gamer Main. This is, of course, the Cyber Gamer Pro League. So those guys are going to also win some stuff as well. So great stuff coming out from Cybergamer, of course, also those too.
Fantastic. Just great news for Australian and Oceanic League of Legends on the whole. Thank you very much for that, for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for those who shouted us out on Twitter and shared that around. It's great to have some people in here, some newer viewers as well. We hope you enjoyed it. Hey, you can follow us as well. You'll always know when we go live and what's happening there as well. And if you are that kind of person that likes to subscribe, we definitely invite that as well. You get access to some awesome emoticons, especially the hallowed TDTV Sandman emoticon, which is this is pretty damn amazing, actually, I'm going to be honest. But look, we'll cut it there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back very, very soon, of course. The Cybergamer, the CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships are well and truly in full swing. We want to get there to as many as we possibly can. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night, and we'll see you on the Rift.